Dear students, in this lecture video, we studied about the constraints in unit commitment. Under this topic, we studied about the spinning reserve, thermal constraints, other constraints. Again, the thermal constraints are classified into minimum uptime, minimum downtime, crew constraints. The other constraints is again classified into hydro constraints, fuel constraints, and then must run constraints. Now we detailedly studied about the constraints in unit commitment. So this topic is very important topic. In the third part of the model 1 unit commitment, all the topics are very important, and then frequently, that means that is repeatedly asked in the VTU university question paper. Okay, so the constraints in unit commitment, how the question will come in the VTU university question paper. Explain the constraints in unit commitment, that is the understanding level only, just you have to explain. So maximum 8 mark. If 10 mark means they add what is unit commitment problem or the definition of unit commitment problem along with explain the constraints in the unit commitment. Okay, so dear student, each and every topic what are the, that means questions for this topic, how to ask in the university question paper, and then what is the minimum and maximum mark for each and every topic in the every module for every subjects. Okay, now we detailedly studied about the constraints in unit commitment. So the many constraints is placed on the unit commitment problem. The each individual interconnected power system or powerful or reliability council may impose different rules on the scheduling of units, that is unit scheduling, depending on the generation makeup and load curve characteristics. Okay. Then, what are the types of constraints used in the unit commitment? The first one is the spinning reserve. Under this topic, how the question will come in VTU, the minimum mark is 6 mark, that is the maximum mark is 6. Explain the spinning reserve. Otherwise, write short notes on spinning reserve, only one. The next one is thermal constraint. Again, the thermal constraint classified into minimum uptime, minimum downtime, crew constraint. Okay, under this topic, how the question will come in a university exam, explain the thermal unit constraint, the maximum mark is 6. The other constraints, separately won't ask other constraints. Okay, so the other constraints again classified into hydro constraints, must run constraints, and then fuel constraints. Now we detailedly studied about the each and every constraints in the unit commitment. The first one is the spinning reserve. Okay, spinning reserve is nothing but what? Unit capacity minus unit output mean, that is the spinning reserve of the generating unit. Okay, if the power system means the installed capacity of the power system minus generated capacity of the power system is nothing but the spinning reserve. Here the definition of spinning reserve is that means the total amount of generation available from the all the units synchronized. For example, 3 units mean the sum of 3 units generation minus the present load and losses being supplied. Okay, so the total amount of generation available from all the units synchronized minus present load plus losses. This is the definition of spinning reserve. The spinning reserve must be carried out so that the loss of one or more unit does not cause for a drop in the system frequency. Okay, if one unit is lost, there must be the ample reserve on the other unit to make up for the loss in the specified time period, because all the units are synchronized. The spinning reserve must be allocated to obey certain rules, but usually the rules set by the regional reliability councils in the United States that specify how the spinning reserve is to be allocated to various units. Okay. The typical rules of the unit commitment which specified that the spinning reserve must be given a percentage of forecasted peak demand or the reserve must be capable of making up the loss of the most heavily loaded unit in a given period of time. Okay, how to calculate the reserve requirements as a function of the probability of not having the sufficient generation to meet our loaded demand. Not only the reserve be sufficient to make up for a generation unit failure, but the reserve must be allocated among the fast responding unit and slow responding unit. Okay. Then the constraint, that is the spinning reserve, allows a automatic generation control, AGC. So the AGC consists of AVR and ALFC, which is used to restore frequency and interchange quickly in the event of generating unit outage. Beyond the spinning reserve, the unit commitment problem may involve various classes of the scheduled reserves or offline reserves. Okay, so for quick start diesel or gas turbine power plants, that means the units, as well as most hydro units are pumped storage units that can be brought online and synchronized and brought up to full capacity quickly. These units can be counted in the overall reserve assessment as long as the time to come up to full capacity is taken into account. Okay, finally, the spinning reserve must be spread around the power system to avoid transmission system limitation. It is called as a bottling. Of resource, and to allow various parts of the system to run as island should they become electrically disconnected. So this is the short notes on spinning reserve. The next constraint is thermal constraint. The next constraint is the thermal unit constraints. Okay, the thermal unit constraints is again classified into minimum uptime, minimum downtime, crew constraints. Okay, the thermal units require a crew to operate them, especially when turned on and turned off. The thermal unit, that is the generator which is used in the thermal power plant, which is called as the thermal unit, can undergo only the gradual temperature changes. This translates into a time period of the some hours required to bring the unit online. Now we detailedly studied about the minimum uptime, minimum downtime, and then crew constraint. Minimum uptime means once the unit is running, it should not be turned off immediately. That is called as a minimum uptime. The minimum downtime is nothing but once the unit is decommitted, there is a minimum time before it can be recommitted. This is the definition of minimum downtime. The last one is crew constraints. If the plant consists of 2 or more units, okay, they cannot both be turned on at the same time since there are not enough crew members to attend both units while starting up. Okay, this is the definition of minimum uptime, minimum downtime, crew constraint. Okay, then here two types of approaches is there. One is the startup cost when cooling, another one is when banking. Two approaches is there. Okay, so the cooling means what? That means first the thermal unit in the thermal power plant, that means maintain at operating temperature. Okay, that is the startup cost when cooling. Startup cost means this energy does not result in any megawatt generation from the unit and brought into unit commitment problem is called as a startup cost. What is the cold start? The startup cost can vary from a maximum cold start value. So the banking is nothing but the sufficient energy be input to the boiler and maintain the operating temperature is called as a startup cost when banking. Cooling means first the unit to cool down, then heat up to operating temperature in time for a scheduled turn. This is called as a cooling. Now we calculate the startup cost when cooling by using the formula startup cost when cooling, that is equal to Cc into 1 minus epsilon minus T divided by alpha F plus Cf. In this formula, Cc is nothing but the cold start cost. The unit is mega-Brayton unit. F is the fuel cost, and then Cf is nothing but the fixed cost includes crew expenses, maintenance expenses in paise in rupees. Alpha is the thermal time constant for the unit. T is the time in hours the unit was cooled. Okay. Then how to calculate the startup cost when banking? The startup cost when banking is calculated by using the formula CTTFCC. Okay, in the formula CF is the cost, the unit is mega-Brayton unit per hour of maintaining unit at operating temperature. F is the fuel cost, T is the time period in hours, C is the startup cold cost only. Okay, so finally, the capacity of the units of the thermal units may change frequently due to maintenance or unscheduled outages of the various equipments in the power plant. This must be taken into the account in unit commitment problem. So this is nothing but the thermal unit constraint. Now you see the diagram. Okay, we draw the time dependent startup cost. Two startup cost approach is there. No, one is startup cost is taken along the y-axis, and then x-axis time. Okay, in hour. Okay, now this is the CF. Okay, cost. Then again now we draw the startup cost when cooling. This is the cooling curve. This is the banking curve. Startup cost when cooling and banking only. So dear students, for explaining the thermal constraints, the important key point, you write down the definition of minimum uptime, minimum downtime, crew constraints. Then you write down the formula for startup cost when cooling and banking, and explain each every term. Then you can draw the graph. Okay. Then the constraints in unit commitment, that is the other constraint. The first constraint is hydro constraint. The name itself is that the unit commitment cannot be completed separately from the scheduling of hydro units. That is the generator used in the hydro power plant. The hydrothermal scheduling. Hydrothermal scheduling means that is the hydro power plant synchronized with the thermal power plant. That is called as hydrothermal scheduling or the coordination. This problem can be separated from the unit commitment problem. Okay. And then must run. Okay, so the must run is nothing but this. Some units are given a must run status during certain times of the year for reason of voltage support on the transmission network, or for such purposes as supply of the steam for uses outside the steam plant itself. Okay, this is the definition of must run. Okay, the fuel constraint, the system in which some units have limited fuel or else have constraints that require them to burn a specified amount of the fuel in a given time, present a most challenging unit commitment problem only. So, dear students, in this lecture video, you clearly understand the concept of the constraints used in the unit commitment. Three types of constraint: spinning reserve, thermal constraint, other constraint. How the question will come from this topic in VTU examination. What is the minimum and maximum mark? Thank you, student, for listening this video.